Hardly 10% to 20% are financially literate in India. It requires a lot of effort to understand how finances work and ensure. It was during the COVID 19 incident where a lot of people were thrown into poverty. If you don't invest smartly over a period of time during your working class tenure.
So, how this decision has shaped you personally and professionally. Welcoming you all to Success Secrets, a one of a kind podcast where we share the secrets of successful entrepreneurs. Today, we have with us very successful entrepreneur in the journey of chartered financial planner, Mr. Ram Vangalo. Welcoming you, Ram Vangalo ji, to our podcast over here today.
Thank you very much, Akash. It's a pleasure to be a part of your studio.
Thank you. Thank you for joining here with us today. So, quickly to start, the first question I would like to ask is what inspired you to take action to start this journey of creating assets and wealth for your customers and clients and fellow Indians?
Well, if you look at India as a country, the level of financial literacy is very, very limited. I mean, I would say hardly 10% to 20% are financially literate in India. And it requires a lot of effort to understand how finances work and ensure people are well invested so that their overall portfolio is taken care during their retirement. So this is something which we wanted to educate the customers and ensure creating wealth for their long-term goals.
Super. So I understand that you believe that there is a large gap between the literacy and the action which is required to take to create asset. Is there any particular incident which forced you to take this line of service to fellow Indians?
Yes, it was during the COVID 19 incident where a lot of people were thrown into poverty. The middle class were thrown into poverty. And it inspired me to take up this journey because if you don't invest smartly over a period of time during your working class tenure and create a substantial amount of wealth, it is going to be more challenging for them to live their retirement. So, unless and until you are able to create this kind of portfolio, it would be like you would be forced to become an economic slave, living day paycheck to paycheck.
Super. So how this decision has shaped you personally and professionally?
Very much. There's a lot of satisfaction, first of all, because you're helping people to create wealth and you're ensuring that they don't get into the poverty levels. So, that is one thing. You're basically creating wealth for your customers. The second thing is you're sharing knowledge to a lot of people and you're educating and empowering people to be financially better. So, that gives us a lot of satisfaction apart from the business angle.
My next question to you, sir, is that there are a lot of chartered financial planners in India, and there are a lot more to come. So, what exactly sets you apart from who are there and are about to come? If you could enlighten us on this.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of financial planners, but the real challenge is how efficiently you are able to handhold the customer during market downturns. And this is an emotional decision which a customer feels when they are basically having a notional loss in their portfolio. And every market presents an opportunity to the customer for getting this notional loss. So we help the customer to handfold them, saying that the notional loss is an opportunity to invest more and create wealth. So it should never be looked at loss because the goal which we are planning is far, far ahead. So it just gives us an opportunity to invest to multiply your returns and compound the wealth. So that is something which not many people say. We try to educate the customer with all the fundamental ratios and the prospects in the future. And I think that gives them the confidence to stay invested for the longer term. Yeah.
So I believe that is one of the great attributes to have, because patience, when most of the people are panicking, helps you scale heights in business as well as in even in assets. So we thank you for having and bringing about such an attribute to the lives of people. So the next question to Ram sir is that what is the biggest risk you have taken in business till now, and how did it pay off for you?
Well, in our profession, the biggest risk is the market downturn because when there is a market downturn, It's a cyclical. I mean, the markets always present opportunity to go negative and positive. So the risk here for the customer is to trust us, whereas for us personally, information and proper advice is something which we always keep our customers posted. So they're very clear about their goals and the information which we give. They're able to make informed decisions. So the risk is a cyclical risk, but on the longer term, finance is a very dynamic concept. So things change over very fast. Super.
So, can you share one incident where a customer panicked and you helped them to calm down and today they are reaping much better returns?
Oh, yes, absolutely. See, the market has been in a bull run for the past 2.5 years. Prior to this, people have invested. See, the market ups and downs happen. Today, currently, we are at a 200-day moving average, which means people who have invested at a higher portfolio would have seen notional losses. Now, this is something where people get worried, and we clearly say that 200-day moving average is an opportunity to invest, but not the notional loss, because their goals are far ahead. I mean, you're looking at 10 years down the lane. So, in within 3 months, the market is going to recover. So, it is not a concern, though; it's an opportunity. So, it is how people look into these kind of things. The leaders truly look at opportunities, whereas a pessimist looks at it as a negative scenario.
Moving forward to the next question. So let's imagine that Ram sir, nobody knows about your business. And if they have to know about your business in one single sentence, what would it be?
Well, a rupee saved is a rupee earned. So, you should always look at saving before you can even do an expenditure.
That's a brilliant advice, and I believe from generations before, our ancestors have always been emphasizing that save more and spend less so that your future is secured. So, Ram sir, the next question is a bit intensive because I believe that there are a lot of misconception about the finance industry. But what is that one misconception which is something you often hear about, and how people are reacting to that?
Well, the biggest misconception is people think that investing in markets is like gambling. It's a very serious notion because now the economies they are growing at 7% in India. So there is a very limited chance of losing money if you are invested for the long term. Because when the economy is growing at 7% and the whole world is going at 3%, there is a lot of capital coming down from the Western markets to India because of the growth rate which we are in taking place. So the old consumption of gambling is no longer evident because we are not growing at 1 or 2 percentage. We are growing far more than the world's average. So this is a misconception. People think that investing into markets is a gambling.
Sir, to this follow-up question, one of the misconceptions I have seen in the market about this finance is that, people generally tend to think what they earn is, the kind of savings they could have. But at the end of the day, they don't factually calculate a lot of things. So if you could enlighten a little bit more about that.
Yes, obviously. The first thing is that when you invest into traditional assets like fixed deposits, these assets give you a dividend, and this dividend would be accumulated to your income, and you're bound to pay taxes. So you would be paying a higher tax when you are investing in traditional investments. But what happens with a market investment is that the market investments keep compounding, and only when you withdraw, you are bound to pay tax. So, what we advise the customer is that stay in the market until you are making your money. That there will be a day where you would stop earning and the markets would start feeding you. And when you stop earning, the inflow of money will not be from your employment or your business, but from the markets. So you will still be in the lower class of lower section of the tax slab, helping you to reduce tax dramatically.
Super. Right, sir. And the next question obviously is that, there are a lot of changes coming to investing and tax patterns in investing as well. So, how do you see that affecting uh, the Indian economy and Indian people?
Yes, see, the wealthy people are very well aware of how the tax patterns are, but it is just the middle class which is not aware of these kind of investments. If you see the data points in India, only 3% of people are invested in these assets. But if you see in the US, you have more than 50 to 60% of people investing into these kind of assets. In fact, they have a 401k in the US, which is a retirement plan, which has investments into equity markets. But whereas in India, you have a provident fund which doesn't invest into equity market. So you cannot take advantage of the growth rate unless you are invested into equity as an asset class. So what we clearly say is you should diversify some part of your investments. I would not say put 100% into it, but yes, you should have a part of it, a budget 20 to 25%, and ensure that you are systematically investing at every low when the market is taking place. And once you are like 50 to 55, you can probably ensure that you move some part of your capital to debt so that the risk is mitigated.
Super. Uh, right. So one of the books I was reading, uh, the author particularly told that, whatever is your age, twice the amount of money you should, twice the amount of gold you should have it in your account. So what do you think about it, and is that is a good as a strategy?
See, first thing what India is facing is we are over invested in real estate because our parents and ancestors have thought the real assets have been real estate. But honestly speaking, if you see today, assuming that you have a 2,000 square foot of land and you want to gift it to the next generation after 20 years, the 2,000 square foot remains as 2,000 square foot. You could appreciate in value, but the land will remain just 2,000 square foot. But if you see the same investments invested into equity like say L&T or some good companies like HDFC, when you have invested 20 years back, those days there were hardly like say 20, 30 branches of HDFC. Today you have thousands of branches. So every branch is profitable. So first thing, the asset appreciates. Second thing is it is able to give you bonuses and rights which will actually multiply. And the third thing is, assuming that you have 25 lakhs of assets, you can take 5 lakhs for your basic needs. Whereas when you have the 2,000 square foot, you cannot take 20 square foot or 50 square foot, which is required for your basic cash flows. So liquidity is one of the major important factors for investing into financial assets.
Thank you, Ramji. But on a controversial note to this, a lot of people tell that you would rather buy a rented house rather than having a own house. So, what do you think? Should we be in a rented house, or should we actually own a shelter? So even after we retire, we have something called as own, and we don't have to pay rents, and nobody can kick us out.
Okay. The first thing you need to be is you should be clear about your objective. Now, the first thing is if see, today we are in Chennai. I can confidently say I am not a person from Chennai. We migrated from Andhra. A lot of people migrate to Chennai. We cannot guarantee that the next generation will live in Chennai. They will move out to another city where there are better career opportunities. So, having one house is certainly a better option, but having multiple houses, assuming that our kids are going to stay in Chennai, I don't think it is a viable option, though.
Great. Great. That's a great eye opener for all people who think that rented houses are better. So it's a must to have at least one shelter, permanent shelter for us. I've known Ramji for the last 18 months, and whenever I'm seeing him, he always carries a smile and is always energetic and motivated. What's the secret to that calm?
Well, that it's I have no idea though, but I'm always motivated because there is a lot of positivity with my clients and the chapter which we work in DNI. So when all of us do business networking, there's a lot of positivity, energy which actually comes out of the room. That keeps us more motivated.
So to next question. So to the viewers here, since this is a success secrets podcast, what is that one success secret you would like to share for anybody who's starting on a business today?
Okay, the first thing what people assume is businesses are always very successful. The real fact is very few businesses are successful. So, if you want to be in that top successful businesses, you should first look at the opportunity, whether there is enough demand for that specific business. Second thing, are you competitive enough? Are you talented enough? Do you have the time, effort, money? All the resources are actually there. And finally, Once you get into the business, you are bound to get challenges. Any business has challenges. So you should be in a position to have all the resources available to go through these challenges and be successful. As in investing, we say patience is the key to creating sustainable wealth. In business, patience is the most important thing. There will be ups, there'll be downs. You should stay invested and you should become successful, trying to improvise and learn from everyday's challenges.
So the top secret which Ram sir has shared today for have growing your business is that stay invested just like you're staying invested in your assets. So Ramji, since your vision is to create assets and wealth for Indian people, how can one reach out to you?
Well, the best way to reach me is through my phone. Mobile number is 98840 29059. We would give you a free awareness program so that people understand how finances have to be invested so that you are able to budget a part of your portfolio into financial assets and ensure you can pay reduced taxes and create wealth in a sustainable manner and take advantage of the India's growth story.
So thank you, Ramji, for being here today with us.
Thank you very much, Akash. It's a pleasure being a part of your studio.
Thank you. And to all our viewers, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share it to all your friends and relatives so that they could also be enlightened with our success secrets. Until the next time, signing off is Akash, your host.